Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, June 8th, and today we'll cover the trades, the closeout trades for the week for YieldMax funds. Tesley, Coney, NVDY, and Misty, and of course, all of them had trades, so busy video. But first, I just want to thank Jay Pestricelli again because he allowed me to do an interview with him yesterday, which was posted on YouTube. Many of you may have saw it, but if you did not, I will pin it to the top of the comments of this video. It was a good sport about, my channel and the videos I do, and he was actually appreciative of it, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, if you're interested, go check it out. So first, Tesley, what did they do? Well, you see a BC buy to close, an SS short sell, BC buy to close, SS short sell. So basically all they did, they closed out their positions that expired yesterday on the Friday, and they opened new positions. And this is almost, I don't know, it could be the second or third week that they've been using the same amount of contracts and just doing two scattered or laddered, as Jay said, strike prices. So sorry, I'm just going to use scattered because that's my word and it is what it is. But anyway, it's been working. I mean, look at the close purchase, the amount it cost to close, 2 cents, 1 cent. So they won both of those calls, right? Both strike prices worked out, and they opened new ones for next week. Again, same amount of contracts, and same, I guess, split in strike prices. But let's see what it looks like. Okay, so where's the synthetic? So again, they have two synthetics, a 180, 32,000 contracts with 180, 66,690 contracts under 175. But, they're kind of like right at that money. It doesn't really matter. The synthetic expires July 19th. They did not add to the synthetic, so no need to cover it any further. But first, the price. How did Tesla do yesterday? Tesla went down 0.26%. TSLY went down 0.34%. Just under 15 bucks. All right, so let's take a look at the closeouts they did yesterday. Again, this is a new month, so we're at the top here. 2 cents and 1 cent. So how much did that actually cost them out of pocket? It cost them around, $45,000, which is essentially nothing. So they ended up with a profit of over $7 million from last week's calls. And then they used those, that collateral to be able to, sell calls into next week, expiring June 14th. Again, five trading days, but little tight. They did 6,690 contracts, 182.50, 2.83% out of the money, and then 32,000 contracts with a 185 strike. That's 4.2% out of the money. So if we look at that comparable to last week they did 1% and 2%, which we were like, really? That's a little tight. And it turns out, it's essentially ended that way. Look how it ended, as at. Like they had that right on the money, but Tesla pretty much stayed flat for the week, so it worked out. Next week, they went a little further out of the money. So we'll see, though. They got it right last week, so I'm not no judging here. Here we go. Annualized yield for those positions, 77%, 57%. Comparable to their IV. Their IV is 48%. Now, outstanding shares, did they increase? No. They stayed pretty much the same as usual. And the summary is 30-day IV, 48%. Outstanding shares, 44,800,000. Net income from the weekly calls alone, we got 8 million. That's a distribution of 18 cents a share. Daily income of 6 cents a day. Daily yield of 0.4%. And if you annualize that, that's actually 147%, which is pretty damn good. Well, Tesley Fund Manager has been kind of winning every week, so they deserve a beer. So here's your beer. Go out, have fun. If you didn't go out on Friday, maybe go out today, Saturday, whenever you're watching this, and enjoy your beer. on me, or we'll say on Jay. Maybe Jay will buy it for you. But good job. All right, payment information. What do we got here? Again, we got no synthetic action. Even last month, no synthetic action. What does that mean? Well, it means the number one, the synthetic is actually expiring further out, which is good. Number two, there's no massive jump up or down that they can actually close it or should close it. But either way, short call income, as we said, was 8 million. So again, that's around 18 cents a share right now. So if we compare that to the estimate, we're looking at $1.67, which is a 135% yield. But don't get your hopes up. That's definitely not happening. But again, that's based on the number of days left from declaration. June is taking the June. Yeah, it's pulling the right data. So yeah, it's taking the June number, multiplying it by the number of days till declaration, and going from there. All right, so outstanding holdings. Again, nothing to really cover there, so we'll just go right to net asset value, since we have essentially 5 trading days, full week ahead. 662 million net asset value. The NAV is 1479. Trade price is 1478. So that's Tesley. Let's go to NVDY. So NVDY, they did a lot here. Obviously, they had a lot of BCs, buy to close, buy to close, buy to close. SS, short sale, short sale, short sale. So they went from 3 different strike prices, 3 different positions, and they opened, they, I guess, did 3 different trades, got 3 different premiums, but if you look, they chose the same exact strike price on every single one. So they did not scatter. They chose, they put their eggs in all in one basket. Do we like that? We do not. But we'll see. All right. Synthetic wise, no action. So again, this is the new synthetic 1130. This expires July 19th. And that's the gist of that. But let's go to the June tab and see how Nvidia. Oh, there, the birds are coming. Nvidia went down 0.13%. Nvidia went up 0.84%. So look at that. Look at that. Days like this are underappreciated when you have these funds, I got to tell you. All right, so let's take a look. So the closeouts. All right. I know you look right in the middle, right? Right in the middle. See that 120? All right, 120 contracts, 1135 strike. They paid $77.90 to close that position. So you see that, you're like, oh my God, they lost their shirts. Well, guess what? That was only 120 contracts. And right below it, 105 contracts, they paid $26.43, 1185 strike. So they lost that one. However, what matters is the one above, 4,950 contracts. They only paid $465 to close that. That was 1,215 strike price. Nvidia closed at what? 1208. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's go see the damage though. Let's see how we ended up. So in the end, if you look at the top, call debit, they paid, obviously they lost, that's what they paid to close. And then you move over to profit loss. Profit would be, the negative in this case, and it would be green. They made 2.5 million. All right. And then the others, they lost about 900,000. So in the end, it was a profit. So NVIDIA won their calls this week. It was close. It was damn close, but they won their calls. And you know why they won their calls? This is why. They went out of the money, right? There it is, out of the money. Not comparable to the week before where, which by the way, I did ask Jay the question why they didn't go that too far out of the money on the, earnings week, because that was important to me. I wanted to know the answer to that, but, he did make the point. You don't, I guess, necessarily know what the price was at the time, so it's hard to judge if I'm using the close price percentage. but he said he'll get back to me on that. But either way, it's all good. It happens. All right, so they opened new positions going into next week again, but they chose one strike price. So all their eggs in one basket, and they decided to go 3.4% out of the money. Yep, that's tight. That's super tight. Not a fan of that one, but let's see what that annualizes to be. 97, 98, and 100%. So, I mean, that tells me they could have went a little further out of the money. They don't need to yield that much. You look at their IV. Their IV is 44%, right? They're nearly doubling that, getting this premium. So, I don't know. I know also the market was up massively, but then it tanked. So, I don't know. You'll see on Misty. It was just a crazy day. I wasn't able to follow much of the market, but I just know it ended crazy. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this percent out of the money. But either way, whatever. All right, outstanding shares, no change. Well, it doesn't matter. Look at the day before, 1.2 million increase. And Jay's very familiar with his numbers. Anything I referenced, he kind of knew. 30-day IV, 44%. Outstanding shares, 21.3 million. Total net income from the weekly calls, 8.5 million. That's a distribution of 40 cents a share, 13 cents a day, 0.47% daily yield. And if you annualize that, that's 169%. Yeah, I'll take it. Reaction? Yeah, the fund manager, man, they were sweating. They are relieved. You see, he's smiling, but he's crying because it was close. I wish I was I should have went live right during the close to see, how close we were to making money on these. But it was, but again, we don't know what time they're closing them out and if they close them out. So that's the problem. All right, payment information. What do we got? We got no synthetic income, and we got the short call income, which we talked about. So that's 40 cents a share. And if we try to do an estimate, I mean, forget it. 376, 156% yield. I mean, no, it's probably not. Although last payment was what, 256? Damn. But you never know if Nvidia keeps flying high. But those strikes, let's hope not next week with those strikes. So here's the outstanding holdings. Again, we got one strike price, so we'll wait till next week. Net asset value, 614.2 million. What the hell was Tesley? Oh, wow. 662. They're 614. It is close. We got to keep an eye on this. It's a race to first. Coney versus NVDY versus Tesley. Tesley's been in first forever, and it's been nearly uncatchable until recently. So we'll take a look at Coney in a second, but right now NVIDIA's at 614 million net asset value. This is the GOAT, in my opinion. So I picked them to hit first place before Coney. The NAV is 2880. The trade price is 2882. Okay. So in the end, good week for NVIDIA. Next week, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't give them the poop emoji because they won. They won this week. They went tight for next week, but we'll see. They may have to get the poop emoji though if we close, say, like 4% out of the money and we lose our shirts. Like, come on. All right, Coney. They rolled, right? They rolled. They closed out their positions the day before. So this is just 3 trades. And no, they're not adding to their synthetic. They're closing their synthetic. This means people actually sold out of the fund. So the S means sell under type. So they sold a call. This is from their synthetic. And then the other part of the synthetic is the put. Right below it, you see the P. They buy to close the put. Same number of contracts, okay? And then, of course, they had to close one part of the weekly call that they already opened with the 280 strike. So we'll take a look and see what that looks like. All right, again, we have a synthetic now, 260, all right, but they had to close some of it. Let's see what that looks like. 500 contracts they closed. Did they make money? Nope, they lost money because the call they only got 1.1 million, and the put they had to pay 1.4. But that's all right. It's not a big deal. New contract number 25,185. Again, this expires July 19th, and it's 6% away from the price of the strike. Let's go to the June tab. All right, look at that. Coin went down 5%, and Coney went down 4.28%. Now, before you guys say, wait, should they have closed their weekly calls the day prior? Let's take a look, right? They closed at 244 yesterday, and let's see what their calls were at, right? Their strike prices, yeah, some of them, 2 of them were at 245, but the majority, the biggest position was at 235. So they still would have paid, they still would have lost, but they would have paid a little less. So it's not, again, I don't think you can't time the damn market. So I'm not going to harp on that. But anyway, let's not talk about those trades anymore. Let's talk about what they had to close out. So they had to I had to split up these contracts. So now 500 contracts with the 280 strike, they had to pay 365 to close. So unfortunately, they also lost money on this. So if you look, I scroll to the right, they had to pay 182,500. So in the end, 500 contracts was a $20,000 loss. I know it's not that much, but it is what it is. Surprisingly, people selling. You don't see it here, but outstanding shares, actually, we see an increase of 675,000. All right, so here's the summary. 30-day IV, 68%, not bad. Outstanding shares, 27 million. Total net income, $42.6 million loss, okay? So we can't really go any further because, again, they kind of... Where is it? Yeah. This is, the day before, we knew they lost a lot of money, so... But they rolled their synthetic, which made money, so we could take a look at that, which we knew about. But again, that's why there is, it's not net income, it's a loss essentially. So I can't go any further. Reaction is, they're happy. Why are they happy? Well, we didn't look at the other part of this, right? We still have 25,185 contracts, 280 strike heading into next week. They opened it 8% out of the money. Guess what? It's 14% out of the money now. So we're heading into next week with all of our eggs in one basket. Yes, but we're 14% out of the money. So we are ready to move, okay? Coin can move, and we're going to profit. We're going to profit in many ways. So that's why they're smiling. 25 days till the next declaration date. And here's that big synthetic income we just talked about, 76 million. So if you deduct the short call loss, we're at 33 million in net income. That's $1.22 per share. Okay, that's pretty good. So far, so good. It's very early in the month. Short call income, obviously there is none, so I'm not going to go through the estimate. Outstanding holdings, you just see one blue item, so that means one strike, which we know, but again, that's 14% of the money. That's pretty good. All right, what's their net asset value? Oh my God, they didn't hit 600. See, NVIDIA's the GOAT. But they're close, 592 million. All right. The NAV is 2167 and the trade price is 2169. So again, another outstanding fund. I mean, it seems I picked the right funds to cover. These funds have been doing unbelievable. I'm not saying these are the best funds, but they've been performing well, to say the least. All right, so let's take a look. Last but not least, now this one, oh my God, look at this. Look at this. I opened this, I'm like, come on, man. You're killing me. Although I was off my full-time job, it didn't feel like it. I was working all day, it felt like. But what the hell is going on here? So I'll try to summarize it. They closed out their old synthetic. So they sold their call, they BC'd their put, they tried to close the put, and they opened a new synthetic. But they barely moved it. 1540 to 1550. Okay? They closed out their weeklies and they opened a new position to next week. But what is that? One position, one strike. So we'll see what all this looks like on the spreadsheet. But it was, I'm just going to say it was all bad timing. All right, so their synthetic, where are we at? They had a synthetic 1540. They closed it out, and I'll get into the information on the right in a second. But they closed it out, and what did they make? They made 17.6 million. Okay. That's okay, I guess, right? They closed it out. They were above the 1540. They opened a new position. But they kind of paid an arm and a leg because this new position is strike price 1550. The close price of MSTR was 1596. I mean, they couldn't find anything in between. But they paid 16.4 million to open this position. Yikes. So it's kind of crazy. So, again, we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the income we made, and we'll also look at what happened in the weekly income, and I'll show you the total profit for the day, or lack of. All right, MSTR, how'd they do yesterday? They went down 3.65%. MSTY, again, they don't capture all the downside. You see it right here, right? Did it go down 3.65%? No, it did not. It went down 2.11%. So, again, keep that in mind. If someone ever tells you these funds suck, they're capped on the upside, and they take all of the downside, no, that's not necessarily true. So you can always correct them. All right, so what was the damage? What happened here? All right, let's just focus on the larger contracts in the middle, okay? 885 contracts, 80 contracts, 1610 strike. Unfortunately, you can see they paid $54.75, right? That's more than the premium they got of $33.02. So that right there tells you they lost money this week. So that sucks. So if we look, how much did they lose? Well, again, you have to add them all up. I have it on their screen, but in the end, they lost, okay? About $1 million around there. So yes, that's brutal. But what they do, they did the closeout and they did the synthetic bailout. But it did not work in their favor, believe it or not. It did not work. So let me show you something. If I go here, the closeout, right? The closeout of the old synthetic, they made 17.6 million. That's great. However, the new synthetic cost 16.4 million. Damn. The weekly closeout, 5.5. I looked, yeah. If you look at the weekly closeout, look at the call debit. Yeah, that's where the 5.5 is coming from. So we paid 5.5 million to close out the weeklies. So we lost. So normally when we close out the weeklies and we do a synthetic roll or a synthetic bailout, we're making money. In this example, we're not. We are not. So we lost $4.2 million yesterday on Misty. So it looks like, I think what happened is MSTR was at a high, and then they paid to close out the weeklies. And then later in the day or towards the end of the day, MSTR went down. So maybe that's when they did the synthetic, and they weren't able to capture all of the upside on the call. That's my guess. Again, I didn't look at any of the timing of it, but that I'm just gonna say the timing was not in their favor. It looks like they kind of got to do all of these trades at the same time. But as Jay said yesterday, these trades do have to get approved by someone. So I'm sure there's some lag there. All right, anyway, let's continue. So for the new positions for next week, we saw, these other two were already sitting there. But we saw they did all 1,132 contracts, 1,800 strike, and that's 12% out of the money. I mean, that's pretty damn good. The other ones, they're now 14% and 15% out of the money, so that's pretty damn good as well. And the good thing about Misty is they always have new money coming in. So they'll have new contracts to open where they can kind of correct their strike prices as they go. So overall, that part of Misty, I mean, they'll be just fine. But yesterday, man, that timing looks rough. I wonder how, that would have been a great question, honestly, how he feels about that. Like, what happened? All right. 6.9 million outstanding shares now. So, it jumped 75,000. So, again, people keep buying into this fund. All right. 30-day, I have 89%. Outstanding shares, we talked about 6.9 million. Net income is not income. It's a loss of 976,000. But that's not terrible. So we can fix that in time. Reaction, they're just getting a clock emoji. I tried to pick the 4 p.m. clock, but it's close enough. Anyway, yeah, it just didn't work out. Again, typically you close out the weeklies, you do the synthetic roll, and your call more than covers what you lost on the weeklies. Maybe not always, but in yesterday's case, it was just it must have, like I said, it must have tanked. Because again, you'd want the reverse to happen. You don't want the price as high as it was and then close out the weeklies. And then the price tank when you close out the synthetic, because if there's a synthetic, what matters is the buy call. You want MSTR to be at the top price because you want to get money for that buy call. But either way, so that kind of screwed up our June income, or no income really. It's $493,000 loss in the synthetics. It's $976,000 loss on the short call income. It's a $1.4 million loss. So, I mean, I don't have any income to report to you guys. We are completely at a loss right now. It's early in the month, so we got plenty of time. So it was just a rough day, we'll say. Outstanding holdings, nothing to talk about. Again, we got 3 strike prices, 2 existed, and they opened a new one yesterday. Net asset value, $217 million. The NAV is $31.49. Trade price, $31.02. So that is the summary. Those are the trades. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, how they did. Quick FYI, I know we talked about the Jay interview. I'm going to bring him back to the channel. I know I didn't ask the community for questions, and there was a reason for that because obviously I had my own questions, but I'm going to do a follow-up and I'm going to do only community questions. So I'll do a live stream. I think it's July 8th after, maybe it's like 5 p.m. or so. So tune in for that. More information. It's already posted. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you could see it's already posted there. So, unless something comes up, that's the plan. It'll be a community interview. So if you want to ask questions, you go to the YouTube live and you post them in the comments and I'll present them on the screen for Jay to see and Jay to answer. So stay tuned for that. So anyway, guys, a lot to look forward to this weekend. First thing I'll post is my options and swing trading update for the week. Then we got Defiance, which again, I'll give you the Defiance update. I got some new information to produce on there that includes how much you should invest to keep yourself whole. And then last but not least, everyone's been waiting for the YieldMax and YMAG and OLT estimates. I will produce that. I actually just finished what I needed to do to get that information. It's not necessarily easy, to be honest. There is a lot of work involved, as with everything. But I have fun, getting to the YieldMax estimate. It is fun. Because I'm a YieldMax holder too. So, I kind of want a good number. But either way, look out for that. Also, Monday I already have posted how to retire on QQQY. So lots of good content coming out. So, look out for all that. And, as far as this goes, obviously the next update will be the Monday recap, which a lot of people mentioned. Some of them don't watch, but some of them do need a refresher. So I'll continue to do the Monday recap. All right. So, guys, as always, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, I will do better next time. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like button or the thumbs up button or whatever you want to call it. And it does help the channel. My channel's been doing better than usual, I have to say. I'm very happy about that. This past week or two, honestly, it's been doing really good. And that's good because it's been on a little slump for a while, to be honest. You saw my minimum wage numbers. No, I'm just kidding. It's noticeable, though. It is. But I just want to thank you guys for continuing to hit the like button. I know some of you hit it every time. I don't even have to ask. But some of you, I have to remind you in the beginning of the video, which obviously I didn't hear. But, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I'm done yapping. I got a whole bunch of other videos, so let me save my voice. Keyword for today it's pretty simple. We're just going to say, thank you, Jay, right? So you could say thank you, Jay, based on the interview he did with me yesterday, if you guys liked it. Or you could say thank you, Jay, because you love YieldMax. Either way, it doesn't matter. If you made it to the end of this video and you want to prove it via the comments, all you do is type in thank you, Jay, in the comments. And guess what? He'll probably see it. Believe it or not, he watches this channel. Maybe not every video, but I know he did quote some things from my videos. So I have to say, I'm kind of happy about that. So if you do write thank you, Jay, keep in mind, he's watching. He's reading the comments. So maybe say something a little extra if you want to say something or ask him a question. Who knows? But you'll have time. You'll have time in the next community interview. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.